everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of the World of DVC Show. I'm Marissa.
I'm Derek.
And I'm Kerri, and happy 2-year anniversary World of DVC Show.
We have a fun show in store for you. We've gone back the last year and picked out all of our favorites, including the most fun, bloopers.
Hey, it is an anniversary show, ladies.
Yep.
So I wanted to say happy 2-year anniversary.
Derek.
I got you a little something.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
So what'd you get me?
Us.
Oh, could have got me something. I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
Daddy, look, a giraffe. I can't believe we can walk through the castle.
It starts with a spark, alive in our hearts, a chance to build your legacy. To go to magical places with smiling faces and value and trust you can see. When it's buying or selling, renting or lending, there's a wonderful dwelling with wishes unending. You'll save a lot when you believe. So go with the team who will achieve your dream. Enter the world of DVC.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
Happy
2-year
anniversary World of DVC Show!
We did it! We
That was
literally...
our first try.
That was our first try. Behind the scenes, I think we tried 37 times to do it. And of course, it's always me going,
Well, Derek said, "Are we
what
saying that?" Marissa and I said, "We're all saying it together." And he said, "I thought it was just me."
Yeah, and then what are we saying? Happy anniversary. What? Wait, what? We nailed it.
We nailed it.
That's what you get being the professionals that we are.
After 2 years.
2 years.
You'd think we'd have
We
it
have
down.
a long-standing tradition.
You'd think we'd have it down pat by now. And some days we do, and some days we don't. But today we do.
Today we do.
Good
2
for us.
years.
I know.
I just said to Marissa in the car on the way over when she picked me up.
She's your Uber driver every week.
Uber driver,
every month.
of course. And I said, I can't believe. Was it a year ago that we went to go film at the Riviera?
Yes.
And she's like, yes.
I was just looking at those pictures the other day.
That was a whole year
We had
ago.
a whole cake and friends come over and colleagues and refreshments
at the
and-
Riviera.
Yeah.
That was
great.
so cool.
It was awesome. Riviera is beautiful.
And we figured, what better way to celebrate 2 magical years than just to come back to the studio?
Right.
I'm like, Marissa,
Here we are.
We did it really
Marissa,
big, and then
you couldn't arrange for like a cabin. You couldn't arrange for like a grand villa. She's like, no, I'll
office
pick
is
you up and we'll
good.
just go to the studio.
that was the day that Marissa matched the little,
Yes.
the little banquette thing
banquette.
in the kitchen. That the
I
pattern
wore
was
like
the same.
puffy sleeves in honor.
Yeah.
This will be my yearly tradition of puffy sleeves.
And I think I had blue on last year
You did
too.
too.
Okay, so we have a theme now going on. Oh, I can't believe it's
Jump
been
ahead
2
to
years.
anniversary number 3, and you'll be wearing puffy sleeves.
I will.
Yes.
Now I have to.
Mark
I've
it now.
committed.
Something
Now.
poofy.
Welcome, everybody,
Yes.
to show number 24 of the World of DVC Show.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Marissa. This is Kerri, and this is Derek. We're thrilled to have you here. 2 years.
How did I get to be a guy?
I don't know.
I'll take your height,
I'm
but
just trying to mix it up. So welcome, everybody. We're super excited. We have a jam-packed show. Marissa has gone above and beyond planning everything out. We just went through it. We're like a borderline, almost professional show.
well, this is like an Everest show, I think,
This
because
is
you just
very
said
cool.
above and beyond. Like
Yeah.
this is like an Everest show where there's so much, like you climbing Mount Everest. Like this is a look back.
Yes.
Right. And this was no easy feat to do, to get all of this together and really look back over 2 years of funny, off topic, and very informative highlights.
Yes, all of those. So we've kind of taken the best of the best. We kind of went back and looked. We went back and looked. Marissa went back and looked and took the time to compile kind of some of the best scenes, some of the favorite memories that we have, some of the most informative topics
Right.
that we have. So Marissa, on behalf of everyone, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for doing that.
Yes. 'Cause
And I think-
I was in Indiana and you were at some rowing thing or something, right?
Derek's always at some rowing thing.
I was at a regatta this weekend, which before we get into the show, I'm giving a special shout out because this is a very special show for me because I can't believe a year ago, colleges for my 18-year-old son, Owen, were just kind of something we were thinking about perhaps, but over the last few maybe months or so, it became official and he is going to be a Florida State Seminole starting this summer. Up in Tallahassee, he is leaving. I'm starting to get emotional right now. I'm getting a little misty-eyed, so trying to treasure every single moment with him. I'm just so proud of him. He's just done such a great thing in school, and it's like, oh my God, when did I get old enough to have a child that's going off to college?
I know.
Like,
FSU. What's the FSU is the fight? Like it's the Gators, right? We won't talk.
Oh,
this one. Right,
that's it.
right. Because I recruited up at FSU, and I love FSU.
It's such a beautiful campus.
I love it. It's a
such
great
a beautiful
school.
campus. So yeah, it's only 5 hours away. We just keep telling ourselves it's
know.
only 5 hours away.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we are thrilled to be here. So
Congratulations to your
happy,
baby Owen.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations. And we're going to miss him so much.
I know. Please start
Seeing
talking
him
about
around
something
town.
magical.
Okay.
Yes. Change the subject.
Well, I can jump in because in honor of our 2-year anniversary show, we thought we'd up the giveaway this
This
month.
exciting.
So in honor of our 2-year anniversary show, we're giving away $200 Disney gift card.
Not one, but
and
two.
you know at this point how to win it, right? Just participate.
Mm-hmm.
Give us those thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribing so when those new episodes come out, you're getting alerted.
Right.
Leave a message in the comments. Let us know the past 2 years, what's been your favorite episode, right? Or maybe favorite moment, favorite like Derek intro.
That's a lot to choose from.
That's a lot. We're giving you lots of
funnier
options.
as the time's gone on.
And then make sure you email us. That is info@worldofdvc.com. And somebody's going to win that $200. And today, I'm just so excited. Like you said, I had the chance to kind of go through these episodes. I went through the last year. And it was just really cool to go back and kind of just remember little things of each year that we had done.
Yeah.
And so we picked out some of the highlights there. And then, of course, if you watched last year's 1-year anniversary show, we did tie in some really fun bloopers. So we're going to do that for this one, too.
Oh, God, I
so
haven't even seen those.
I know.
we went back
Jeff,
to last
I need
year.
to approve the bloopers before you.
I don't remember having any like bloopers or outtakes because I think we've been practically perfect in every way. No.
Oh, Derek, you're so silly.
No. Just call me D.
So yeah, that'll be awesome too.
Yeah.
So I always love
Fun show.
the blooper reel. So I think we need to get started because we've got a jam-packed show
We do.
with a time-traveling show through the last year.
Yep.
So to kick things off, let's go around the world of DVC.
Of DVC, yes.
We need like a jingle or like a
Right.
We need to call
something.
the jingle team back.
The jingle team back. Like remember Around the World, the soap opera. Marissa probably doesn't, but Derek does. But it like it would show the world. Do you remember that?
I mean, soap operas were on the background when I was like 5.
Well, me too. Me too. It was the stories.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, Around the World with DVC. And
You start.
Yeah, Rental Store still has some amazing deals right now. So if you're thinking holiday time frame as far as Halloween, remember Halloween's a huge deal at Disney with Magic Kingdom's Not So Scary Halloween Party, the Food and Wine Festival, all the great fall stuff. So for $19 a point, Rental Store still has from 0 to 7 months that $19 a point. So you go to dvcrentalstore.com. You'll be able to search all the confirmed reservations and see what's available for that. And then 7 to 11 months, a little bit further out, is $22 a point. So there's still a lot of great deals out there. And thinking about, planning within the next 0 to 7 months, maybe end of school bash, maybe end of summer bash, coming up later, but then thinking about that fall time frame because fall fills up so fast.
Fall
right?
is such a great time
It's
to go
such
to
a great
Disney
time.
too.
Yeah.
It's so funny. We had a meeting the other day and people were talking about like how they time their vacations.
Yes.
And a couple of people said that they try to go during like the Thanksgiving where it's like fall/Christmas crossover.
Yes.
Where you get both
You
of
get
those and you
both,
can do
yes.
like Not So Scary in one part of at the beginning of your vacation and then the very Merry Christmas party at the end. So
Yes.
lots of fun. You know what else that we really haven't talked about on the show that you can do with DVC Rental Store, whether you're booking with them or not, is you can get discounted tickets on there.
Exactly.
Or, of course, with Unlock Magic, you get an even bigger
Right.
discount. So, again, if you're heading to the parks, make sure you're reaching out to us, whether that's through DVC Rental Store or Unlock Magic to get those tickets because we offer the best discounts on Disney tickets, which is
Really do.
awesome.
Yeah.
This is great.
Yeah. So that's what's around the world in my world. What's going on in your world?
Rent of DVC Resale Market. Lots and lots and lots.
Yeah.
We have been so incredibly busy, and I think I can say, like, literally over the last 2 months, I think the report came out, or the last 8 weeks, we sold, I think, over 1,000 contracts, if I'm not mistaken. Over 1,000 contracts in the last 8 weeks. People go, why? Why is that possible? Because of the prices.
Yeah.
Prices are significantly lower than they were a year plus ago. Plus, it's the ever sleeping Rofer monster. He's still in hibernation. By the time this show airs, our report will have been published, but 0 Rofer buybacks for the month of March, which is absolute insanity. So it truly is that perfect storm of, I've got great prices. Yeah, but if I get a great price, I'm sure Disney's going to buy it back. Now they don't have to worry about it. However, this party may be coming to a close. So we're just telling you this, guys, because for the first time ever, Marissa was telling me that it looks like our inventory, right, is starting to shift, I think you said?
And so basically what we've seen, and if you kind of go through like the stats and data over the last probably like 6 to 3 months, you can see that like we've had a very large influx of people selling their contracts and then a good amount of those going out. Well, right now is the first time we've seen that shift where we have significantly less coming in and significantly more going out.
Yeah.
So as we've been really loving this buyer's market, especially for my buyers out there, you've been able to take advantage of low prices, no Rofer, and tons of inventory. We are seeing that shift. So again, if you go to our average price per point blog, you can see that that price has gone up. And that's the first time in the last 3 months that we've seen an uptick in price. So we're likely going to see that not super fast, but slowly continue. So if you want to take advantage, I know a lot of people go, well, I'm waiting for the market to drop. It has. This is it. Snag it while you can, because we're likely going to see that just kind of slowly increase. What could make that dramatically increase is any sort of Disney buyback, right? So if they start to do that, we'll see that go dramatic. And you can't time that or depend on that.
No.
So it's at that sweet spot where you can go back in time and say, I wish I would have.
Yeah.
What else is funny is, as I was rewatching these episodes, if you go back to like our buying episode with Jody, we were talking price per point. And I was like, oh, we were talking Grand Floridian at that point. We were talking Saratoga. We were talking Saratoga that $130 per point was the average price per point.
Oh my God.
Right. And this is only 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And we were talking about don't even bother putting an offer at 110 because Disney will buy it back through right of first refusal. So Disney was buying back anything in the 1-teens per point or lower at Saratoga.
Yeah.
Now you can snag a Saratoga at $100 per point
Yeah.
and no Rofer.
Right.
So that's like a $30 per point difference.
Yeah.
So again, if you've been waiting for that moment, this is that moment.
Add-on-itis is going to be really a
we
thing.
truly pride ourselves on trying, that this show, and that's what I was telling Marissa in the car when we were making the Starbucks run over, is that it's not a pushy, salesy show like buy. Every month, it's a great time to buy. It is. This is no joke. If you have been on the fence about buying, do it now. Don't be that family, like Marissa said, that says, oh my God, I wish I should have done it back then. Now Disney, once they buy back that first contract, and I feel tremendously bad for the poor family who's going to be that first family that gets bought.
I know, right?
I do not want to make that phone call. So yeah, just a great time. Reach over to us at the DVC Resale Market. Take a look at all the inventory, and of course, reach out to us with any specific questions.
What we always say at DVC, shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of add-on-itis,
yes,
we have officially trademarked add-on-itis. So
for real?
Add-on-itis.
For real. We own the trademark at World of DVC. We do. Yeah. So who knows? Look out for some fun merchandise coming out soon.
I didn't even know. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You're more impressed by that than Owen getting into FSU.
She's a pretty good marketing director, this one over here. Not too shabby. Wow, that's crazy.
Super fun, yeah. World of DVC.
I'm telling you.
So what else is happening around the World of DVC? We actually, at Be Our Guest Vacations, Kerri, you know a little bit more about this because you spent the week with her, but we hired a new president.
Love her to pieces.
Yep.
British Hill joined the company a week ago today, actually. And then the following day, I whisked her away to Indiana, to our Indianapolis office, so that she could meet the Indiana team and get completely immersed with some Be Our Guest Vacation travel training and meet some of the great Indiana folks and whatnot. And she is fantastic. Her resume is just pages and pages and pages long. Yeah. And she comes to us from Disney, so she was a colleague with all of us.
Yeah.
On the
I
cruise
actually
team.
trained with her at DVC.
Yes. Yeah. So she trained with you. Yeah. I know her from Disney because I came in when Dani joined the company, DVC. I'm like all tongue-tied today. I'm so excited to have my Starbucks, Marissa. Don't drink this before the show. I'm very jittery. Anyway.
Calm down, Derek.
I know. God, I really am channeling you. See how annoying it can be? No, I'm kidding. I'm
I'm the calm one.
She's so great, and she's just going to bring energy and knowledge and passion and just so much vibrancy to that position. So we had a great trip, and her colleagues that work in California and Massachusetts. It's just going to be such a
another great addition.
connection.
She's phenomenal.
She's phenomenal.
I can't
British welcome.
I was
She's gonna be on the show.
day she hired, I was like, should we have her on the show on her first day? And Kerri's like, maybe you wait.
Marissa calls me. She's like, is it weird to have her on her very first day? And I thought, we tape around 9, like nothing like, hi, welcome to your new employer. Sign here, have a seat. So British, and you're on, So I said, well,
so we pushed that.
Maybe give it a beat or two. Yeah, give her a beat or two.
Breathe.
But she's so fun, and she's a storyteller.
Oh my gosh.
And I could listen to her like read. We used to say the phone book. Now people don't say that. I don't know what you'd read, but like the dictionary. She's just like so passionate on everything that she says, and she wants to soak everything in, and she's just fantastic. So she's actually been going back and watching the shows as well, all the episodes, and trying to get caught up and understand the entire world of DVC. So it's exciting to have another
awesome president.
player on this team,
Awesome.
because we when you get excited to be around great people.
Yep.
You want great people to join you.
Yeah.
So welcome, British.
Yeah, welcome, British. We're so excited to have her. And I think it's going to be fun to plug her into these shows,
Definitely.
too. Because she can bring so much insight on Be Our Guest Vacations. But one of the things that's been super exciting over the last couple of weeks is the Disney's new private island, right? And technically it's not like a private island. It's an island in the Bahamas that they've outfitted for like the Disney sailings. And so it's the Lighthouse Private Island in the Bahamas, and they have announced the dates for sailing on those.
Right.
So most of them will be on the Magic out of like Fort Lauderdale and Miami. But if you are like dying to go and see that, make sure to reach out to our team at beourguestvacations.com. They are the experts on cruising, so they can book that for you, offer you all the current discounts, whether that is any sort of Florida residence discounts, or if there's some other sailing discounts going on, they'll be able to still match those discounts. And of course, they do have some fun onboard credits as well. But really, that team is just so fantastic.
They're
of
amazing.
Like handling all of the details.
They are, Marissa, and that's such a great point. Disney's changing constantly with promotions and updates and different things like that. And I've truly never seen a team that has to move so fast and be on top of it constantly. And so they are the consummate professionals because they're in the know. They live, eat, breathe, Be Our Guest Vacation Travel. I mean, they just love it, and they want to give the best service and the best deal to the guests. So I feel like the name is just so perfect, Be Our Guest, because it's not just a name. It's like their mission. It's what they do.
And it's the perfect time for Marissa to announce that I believe our 3rd year anniversary show, it says here, we're filming live from Lighthouse Point.
Well, the timing would add up because the first sailing there is June 2024.
Oh, excuse me. My birthday's in June.
Okay, so let's do a Kerri birthday 3rd year anniversary. It might be like 3 months late on our anniversary because we are going to be on Lighthouse Island.
Mine can be a 12-month celebration. It's fine.
Let's go ahead and book that right now.
Oh, and Nick's birthday's June too.
There we go. We'll have a big celebration. 2024?
Yes.
Actually, you know what? Let's just do a World of DVC charter cruise.
If
you're in for that, leave a note in the comments.
I like what you're saying. And Nick and I can celebrate and anybody else who has a June birthday.
Or if you just want to come and hang out with us on a cruise, leave it in the comments. If we get enough people commenting, we might be able to push this initiative forward.
She's not kidding.
I'm not.
Right?
She's not kidding.
We're a darn good time. We travel really well.
She was able to trademark add-on items. She can do it.
I got to give some credit to Nick and the rest of the team for that. I would love to take full responsibility, but thank you.
So
well, with that, another kind of around the world of DVC. For those of you who have joined us over at unlockmagic.com, we have had some fun over there. And let me tell you, kind of a small brag here, but like our shows that we do at the resorts are so much fun.
They are.
Like, okay, so this last one, we all rented a pontoon boat and drove it around Bay Lake and Seven Seas Lagoon and had a blast. But if you want to see that, it is only found in Unlock Magic. So make sure you're joining us there, unlockmagic.com. You can use the code WOD WOD, so for World of DVC. Put that code in. That's going to give you 30 days free, so make sure you join us over there for that. And I think probably one of my favorite things about Unlock Magic has been Unlocked Animation.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. And this last episode was just so charming.
It was. So if you remember, Jason Zucker was on episode
Let me see here. 22.
22. Jason Zucker, he's a Disney animator, and he was part of our retreat back in December. I commissioned him to come and be part of the entire World of DVC retreat, and he did a whole class of drawing Mickey for the team, and everybody loved it. And not only the experience, but also just seeing adults try to draw Mickey Mouse was hysterical, because some people are amazing and others of us are not so amazing and have other talents, right? So we now do a segment. It's about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, the last Monday-ish of every month, and I host it along with Jason at 7 o'clock live, and it's through Unlocked Magic only, so it's specific just for that audience. But Jason will teach you how to draw. We did Sorcerer Mickey the first time. We did Tinkerbell the last time. But I love that he infuses it with some Disney
tons of Disney
knowledge,
history.
right? And Disney history.
Yeah.
So it's the 70th anniversary of Peter Pan. And when I said to him, what are you thinking that you'll draw? That was the first thing he said. He's like, well, Kerri, it's the 70th anniversary of Peter Pan, so Tinkerbell. And I thought, oh my gosh. And so the Tinkerbells are just amazing that I've been seeing in the comments.
Goodness.
And the kids, I think, are loving it. Coming to the table, you can...
It's such a magical family
Yeah,
time.
it's
And I
that's
think
just it.
There's just so little of that nowadays.
Yep.
And to your point, it is live, but if you want to watch that afterwards, we do put it in. It's going to get a little tab that says Unlock Animation on the left-hand side, so you can go back and watch it at any time. But I think it's taking that time to kind of slow down as a family and have that fun, like, Disney moment together.
One of the ladies
And
told me
make fun of Dad's drawing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And mine, too, because I drew Tinkerbell, and it was just a mess of a drawing. But one of the ladies said, we did our dinner, we did Unlocked Animation, and then we were ready for bath and bed. She said it was just like that perfect combo where I didn't have to fight with the iPad and, this and that, other distractions. It was like a very lull time, you know? So
I think my wife's going to start doing that to me.
Right? Exactly.
Let's feed him. Let's go to
Unlock Animation
Time
and
for
then
night-night.
bath and bed. Good night, Derek. Yes, but it's really great. And he's so wonderful because he is such a storyteller and just walks you through it. I mean, just step by step. So if anybody says, well, I'm not really a draw, just try it. It's like
And
it's
even
like
if
Bob
you
Ross
don't
with a
want to
hat.
draw it and just watch it,
just listen.
just for the stories and the history, like he's so rich of Disney like history. So make sure you.
But
tune
our
in
little
for
friend,
those.
our little friend Emily, on the very first one, she commented and she said, "Why isn't Kerri drawing?" She was concerned that I wasn't drawing, and so Jason said, "You're going to have to draw." And I thought, Emily, you're going to regret this, but okay. And so I partake.
There's legal reasons.
That's right. No one wants to see my Tinkerbell, but it's such a sweet part. And like Marissa said, Unlocked Magic, just as a whole community, is just really, I just love it because it's positive, it's happy, it's people sharing different things, and it's just a community that you want to belong to. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been
it's
super
awesome.
special. So make sure you join us over there. Again, WOD is the code for your first 30 days free. But yeah, that's part of like this whole last year has been, let me tell you, like a whirlwind with all of the crazy things happening. But I think that's why it makes it so much fun to go back. Oh, yeah. And so if we go back, what we're going to kind of go through is our last episode since our big 1 year anniversary. Right. So our next episode after that 1 year anniversary was episode 14. Yep. And that was our swap show.
I feel like we need like a sound effect as we go into after we tease it up.
Yep.
We'll do like a
something like that.
You ready?
Yeah. And then it'll go to the clip.
Okay.
But this was the little show that could.
This was the little
engine that could show.
God, are you going to tell them the behind the scenes story?
After, let's watch it first.
Okay.
And then we'll go into it.
So basically, this episode, if you haven't watched it yet, I would strongly recommend watch it from like start to finish. But this was where we really launched being able to swap your points as a DVC member, right? Which was this incredible like initiative that I was telling Derek on the drive over here. It's now like we have a tremendous amount of because it's really a no-brainer. It's like the savings you get with your points. But Derek and I recapped it of like the 5 ways you can use your points. So let's watch it.
Yeah.
If you look back on the show, I feel like we've covered so much ground.
Oh my goodness.
It's incredible. Starting with the swap for swap number 1, which is Adventures by Disney.
Adventures by Disney, where you can save anywhere from 40 to 60% on these adventures.
Oh.
We talked about the example again, Italy, right?
Yeah.
7 nights, 8 days, where you're saving over $25,000, 50% savings on points alone.
It's crazy.
Insane.
And that's just one of those trips. Then there's swap number 2 that we covered, which was the Galactic Star Cruiser, which again, when you looked at those initial points to go through Disney directly, they're out of this galaxy. Sorry, I had to work in a stupid Star Wars pun. But yeah, the usage for your points going through our swap program is crazy.
Under 300 points for 2 adults and 1 child to head over and do that 2-night stay on the Star Cruiser.
That's
over almost a 70% savings, over $11,000 in savings. Crazy.
And then number 3, probably one of the most requested swaps of all time that people love it, is Disney Cruise Line. So that's just fantastic. Paul and Amy had a fantastic report. So again, every cruise, every ship, every sailing.
We'll see it on the Wish.
We'll see.
With, again, almost a 50% savings in most of these examples.
Yeah, which is so great too, because again, I want to stress that it doesn't matter where you purchased your points.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't matter if you purchase them all direct from Disney, if you purchase half direct from Disney, half with us, or maybe you purchased all of them with us. Fantastic. Anybody can take advantage of any one of these swaps, including that 4th one to the luxury beach vacation. Better than any grand villa I've ever been to in my whole entire life. I cannot wait to go back.
Which again, we showed you that amazing example for Derek's birthday in November, but you're looking at 629 points for the full week stay. So if you are going, let us know. We'll come with. We'll join you there.
And then of course, the big one, I think. The reason that we're all here is swap number 5, being able to use your DVC points at Universal Resorts and for Universal theme park tickets. So I could not be more excited, more happy, more honored to be part of this company, because we're just taking things in directions that I didn't even think would be possible.
So yeah, that was the launch of our swap program. And what's so crazy is it's changed even since then. It's been a little less than a year, and we've even had a change. So we top 5 ways. We actually now have 6 ways. And so our newest addition to the swap program has been Incredible Vacation Homes, which Incredible Vacation Homes, if you haven't heard of our new program there, it's all of these amazing themed out homes in Reunion. And what's so incredible with these is you can get like a 5 or 6 bedroom home for 150 points for the week. So if you're traveling and you have like, hey, this is kind of a big family time, right? Like my family just came out in December and there was a group of 15 of us and they all got rooms at Saratoga, which was great. But like moving forward, I'm like, oh, that would have been much better because we could have all been together and then have those evenings like on a table to play games or sit and have drinks. And so
have an evening swim all together.
Yes, exactly. And so I think it probably won't be something you do with your points every time, but it's such a great option. And then another great way we've used Incredible Vacation Homes, Kerri, is with our conferences, right? Like leadership retreats, any sort of retreats we do.
Anytime we do a anytime, this is the second time we will do this. Actually, no, that's not true because we did a smaller one the year prior. So we've got 3, almost 3 under our belt. But instead of doing, like to Marissa's point, all these different rooms at Saratoga or Old Key West where everybody's, it's a great option because it's Disney, it's on Disney property, but you might have, 20 rooms all spread out in a really large resort. We bring everybody together in the Reunion vacation homes and book 2 vacation homes side by side. And so people then stay in these amazing mansions and we can do meetings and conferences and just have that fellowship and that fun together. And then that's just like team building without being like an awkward team building. No one likes a team building that's like, okay, today is forced fun.
Right, that's just natural.
This
we're all
is
here.
natural. We're going to cook together. We're going to swim together. We're going to play games together. We're going to whatever it might be. So it's another great option too.
And what's cool is you can swap your points, but you can also pay cash. So you can do that right through. You can go to dvcrentalstore.com and look right through there, or you can go to incrediblevacationhomes.com and see the list of homes there. We actually did. So if you're a professional that has wants to do a team event, right, or conferences, this is a really great way to do it. We had a board meeting there a couple months ago. And we all ended up after the board meeting playing pickleball because they have pickleball courts and a water park. But again, it was a natural kind of team building that we didn't plan. We didn't say after the board meeting we have pickleball.
and a board meeting sounds
pickleball.
Right. A board meeting sounds kind of board meeting-ish, right? It kind of sounds a little boring, but when you play pickleball after the board meeting, now you're having fun together.
You built that kind of community.
Yes, community, that memories, that competitiveness. And it's just a great way, like I said, to have some team building without making it a team building.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's our 6th edition.
Tell the story, because I was not part of the story. I was in Indiana for this story.
Yes.
But this is such a such a tremendous win for Marissa and Derek of what you both did to get this off of the ground, because this was the little engine that could show.
Oh, the actual show.
So I was away, but I was getting the text messages on the sides of like, we're not going to get it. We're never going to get it. This isn't going to work. 2, I think we got it. We may have it. Okay, check out this video. I uploaded it. It's all done. What? So tell the story.
Tell him. Poor Jeff is in tears
Poor
over
Jeff,
there.
I know. So
He's like, please don't bring up the story.
So the story goes a little bit deeper because DVC Rental Store at the time, we said, hey, we're going to launch this swap initiative, right? 5 ways you can swap your points.
Right.
And DVC Rental Store was like, well, great. We're going to market it all over our website, Facebook, Instagram, and we're going to do a countdown. This is the first time we've ever done anything like that,
Right.
like a countdown.
Right.
So they started at like in 10 days, in
Now 9,
8,
now 7.
and like
What's happening?
We couldn't not launch a show on like day 0. Like everybody in our whole community was like, what are we gonna hear? What's the announcement? And we were supposed to have a show ready. And oh boy, did we have a show ready, right? Like we went to Anna Maria, the beach house. Kerri and Derek were doing like private kayaking and jumping into the pool.
I was throwing Derek into the pool, and
we literally filmed the best show at the Beaches and Dreams Beach House.
Yes.
Marissa was going to come up the next day.
I did come up.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Kerri and I filmed literally almost the whole entire show. Like we filmed it from the living room. We did skits involving golf and the pool and kayaking and everything else. And it was great. Then we left and said, this is going to be a fantastic show.
Yep.
And then tell them what happened.
Well, and then poor Jeff.
Jeff, who was there filming it all.
Yes, had to go right to, was it MBA? In MBA, he was filming. Jeff does a lot of other.
Yeah, there's a lot of
he's quite
hats.
talented. So he had to go straight to film the MBA and do an event for them. And he got like right on a plane after.
With the footage.
With the footage. And unfortunately, he got robbed in California.
It was so terrible.
Which was devastating. Especially for him in the whole situation.
Side note,
But
Jeff is and was okay.
Yes.
he's back here today, and we will go back to Anna Maria and refilm your amazing moment. But with that, we did lose all of our footage. And this was on day, like the countdown was clicking, and we found out on like day 2, I think. And we were like,
we got a text.
what do we do?
Jeff texted, I think, both of us.
You
and
know
said-
what? We were all sitting at
Yes.
the Christmas party.
Yes.
Was it the Christmas?
No, it was, I think, some other party. It
were
might have
at
been
a-
Nick's party, maybe? Or
It was
something.
Nick's birthday party.
Yes.
that was
And
right.
we were all sitting there
It was
in our
Nick's
80s gig.
Yes, at Nick's birthday party. That's right.
And
Jeff
and we
informed
didn't,
us that the
we
footage...
didn't show Nick on his
No,
birthday
we
party.
just passed. Jeff doesn't know this part, but we just passed the phone, and we were, and it with each person
you
was like,
see the phone come to me, and I go... Like this, and we slowly pass it.
and meanwhile, everyone's giving a toast to Nick and this and that, and we're like, yes, we love you so much too. Oh my gosh, what do we do?
Footage is gone. What do we do? The countdown is coming. So Marissa, in her amazing last minute spur of the moment, says, okay, you know what? We're going to figure this out after the party. And I think the next day or 2 days later,
the next day,
we went to
Universal. We sat on somebody's patio
at Portofino Bay.
I wish we took pictures, because Derek and I are like sneaking around trying to find somewhere quiet.
Yeah.
Because they pump in all this like music around, and we were trying to find somewhere quiet that was like pretty backdrop. And we were like, there's somebody's patio that we can, like where people have patios out in the open, and it didn't have like a gate around. So we sat in someone's patio on their chairs, and that's where we're filming this episode.
We had my wife set up the phone. We recruited Annie to come, and she set up the phone with the volume and the sounds, and we pounded the show out.
Yes,
right? Like
we did.
extremely.
And it was like,
last
because again, I'm not that savvy with technology, and it took me forever to load it up. And I was like, I don't know if it's going to load in
so brilliant,
time.
though. I remember
have to make this countdown.
Texting, because I was in Indiana and Jeff is away, and so I said, "Who's filming it for you?" And Derek wrote back, "Annie, don't worry, we got this." And I was like, "Oh, I love Annie to pieces. Does Annie know what she's doing?" No, none of us do. Okay, but it was so brilliantly done.
But
and
go
so,
back and
so
watch
now you
that.
can
go watch it and
Now
watch
you'll
it.
watch it with a
with a
whole
completely different vantage
perspective.
point, right? And perspective.
You'll
It's
see
fantastic.
the look on our faces going, I hope this person's room that we're standing in front of doesn't come out or walk outside the blinds.
I was more chill about it, but Derek's like, they're gonna see us. They're opening their blinds. They're opening.
Oh my gosh.
They're filming a used timeshare show outside of my room.
You always make it sound so
No, right.
glamorous.
Yeah, right. This is why people buy.
But yeah,
you,
that was
Derek.
a great show. That's a little behind the scenes story too, which And again, the response to those swaps, you were telling me this morning, just crazy. The amount of people that have swapped for cruises and swapped for Universal stays.
It just makes sense.
VIP tours.
Yes.
VIP tours.
Crazy.
So
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
So
well, that brings us to episode 15.
My gosh.
Where we had Jody on.
Oh,
and
yeah,
that's
the great
that's
Jody
probably like our second most popular episode because
Super
we go into
informative.
all the tips and tricks on buying. And if you go back again, you will see prices might be a little higher than what they are now. So another reason to buy now. But what I loved about this episode is because we really did break down like, what does that look like? If I'm a member, if I have some experience, or if I know nothing, what does that look like from bottom to top? So one of the segments that I love that we went into was just the basics of like, how do I buy Disney Vacation Club on the resale market? So let's show you how. I know I'm not coming to Disney for another 3 years. Then get one of the stripped out contracts where you're not getting points, you're not paying dues, you're going to get a very, very low price on that purchase because why pay? You can pay today's dollars because it's probably going to be more 3 years from now. But guarantee those points ready for your next vacation. On the flip side, if you're saying, I've got a family reunion and I need some banked points plus some borrowable points, totally different contract. And another way to look at it, maybe right of first refusal is really aggressive, right? Right now we're seeing that with Saratoga Springs where you go, wow, what am I going to do to buy a Saratoga Springs? Maybe it is buying a loaded contract and paying a premium.
I just had that conversation with somebody.
then
I'm like, rent the points out.
There
if
you
don't
go.
use
If
them.
they're saying I'm not
what
going
is
on
a loaded
vacation.
contract
so
with a
maybe
premium
banked points from 2021
gotcha.
or full
Okay.
2022. So let's say you bought 160 points and you're getting it and you're closing and you've got 320 points to use.
Right
now in 2022.
Right.
Well, let's say you're not going to go to vacation until 2024.
Right.
Rentalstore.com.
Rentalstore.com.
DVCrentalstore.com.
Rent
and
them
then
out.
rent them out. Sellers are getting, what's the premium now?
Oh, $18.
$18 a point. Rent them out. There's your covering your
dues.
down payment, your dues, whatever.
Everything.
No prepayment penalty with Monera, so go pay that loan.
Gosh, it's so crazy.
And because it's a loaded contract, the price is going to be higher than one that doesn't have all those extra points. So it's a way to sort of strategize, hopefully skirt the ROFR monster. And,
I want to call you like strategic pointologist experts, like
pointologist.
Pointologist,
You need to like, trademark that.
Put that on a T-shirt or something, or a hat. Or
We've got the add-on-itis down.
The add-on-itis, that's true. But that's what I love so much is it's very much of it's a two-way conversation because I bought my points from Marissa and answered every single question. You know, she's on speed dial, of course, anyway, every day for text message.
It was a lot of text back and forth.
Yes, do it. Yes, whatever. And but you have that expert and you have that person who's going to kind of do that discovery with you and sort of open your family up and find out when do you like to travel, how often, where, is it the family reunion? Is it a Hawaii vacation 2 years? Does it matter when you know how many points you get today? And I love that it's not just somebody behind a screen just buying and selling and this, that, like you really get that personalized touch.
Yeah, if you want it, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our clients and repeat, they know it as well as we do.
See, that was great. In the same jam-packed show that the great Jody Gross was on too, we also covered probably one of the most asked questions of all time in the history of Disney Vacation Club is, what is a use year and does it really matter?
Yes. Right.
So we addressed that in this clip.
One of the questions we get a lot is like, once you figured out your points, then you figure out your home resort, then the big question is use year. And I think one of the things is like people get in the weeds a lot with that. They do. Because one thing to keep in mind is use year is the month where points are deposited in your account. It has nothing to do with when you vacation.
Correct.
It has nothing to do with when you are can book. So you don't need points in your account to book. So if I have an October use year and I am looking to vacation, let's say in December of 2023, so not this December, but next, I can book that vacation now. Even though my October 22 points are not there. Sorry, I can book that in the January window, within the 11-month window at my home resort, because my points will be there at time of check-in. So my points are coming October 2023 for that December stay. And so I think a lot of people think, well, if I want to vacation always in December, I need a use year of January so that I can book it at 11 months. Well, first, there's no use year of January because Disney made that really fun. There's not a use year for every month.
Not every month, right?
But second, you don't need those points. So ideally, again, reach out to us. We can give you some guidance on that. But for the most part, a lot of families, once they start to learn about use year, they go, oh, that's not really a big deal for us at all. It's really more specific. If you're that family that says we're only going once every 2 or 3 years, we're going to be utilizing a bank and a borrow strategy, and this is the time of year we always go, and we're kind of likely to cancel last minute often.
Yeah.
Then reach out and we'll get you the specific, but for the most part, ideally try to get a use share before you normally vacation. So if you always go in December, then a perfect scenario might be like a June through December use share. But don't get too caught up in it. And if you need help, that's what we're here for.
And that's a good point too, because I do get a lot of folks that say, well, I want to go, I usually go December. We go for Christmas.
Yeah.
And they think they need, instead of a January, they think they need a December.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't, I mean, December's good, but so is October and August.
Or sometimes they think like maybe a February, right? And then you're like, no, because then you're borrowing ahead.
Right, yeah. So there's nuances. And again, everybody is different in their learning stage. So just reach out to us. That's what we're here for.
Another fantastic favorite episode of mine is, if we continue a look back, is when episode number 16 is when we had the great Stephen Amos from Give Kids the World on to talk all about that incredible organization. I get goosebumps again thinking about some of his stories and the amazing work that they've done there. And a lot of people ask and say, you know what, that sounds like an amazing organization, but I'm in blah, blah, blah. Or how can I give back? Is there some way that I can? Because this episode motivated me so much. And this part, I think, was really great when it touched on how you can give back.
If we have people like listening in and watching, if they wanted to give back, whether that's like financially or help volunteer, is there a certain like process, or what should they do next steps if they want to partake in that?
We always say there's three things. It's either give, serve, or share.
Okay.
I mean, of course, the treasures that make the wish possible are incredible for us, but volunteering is one of the biggest things. We have 1,700 shifts a week that need to be filled by volunteers, and we always say we save all the fun stuff for the volunteers. I mean, it's serving the meals, it's dancing in the Christmas parade on Thursdays, it's taking the photos when Mickey Mouse is there on Mondays and Thursdays. It's all those types of experiences, and we always have to remind people, because they will go, well, I don't know if I can commit enough hours. If you do 2 hours a year, that's fine. We have a lot of families who come down for a vacation and they go, we're going to do Disney Springs in the afternoon. Let's go volunteer in the morning. And that's awesome. One time, that's fine. We'll train you. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
And the orientation, that was a silver lining with the pandemic. It's now all virtual. So you can complete your orientation prior to coming to property.
That's awesome.
So you can just do your shift, because previously you would have to come in on a Saturday, do a couple hour orientation. And we've now mitigated that, so you can just be a little
that's
more
great.
So anybody wanting to, if someone's listening from another state, from Wisconsin, let's just say, and they say we want to come down and volunteer, they can do the pre-process ahead of time and then just pick a shift.
Yep, and you can pick anything you want. So you know what you're doing when you come in. So you don't have to walk and be like, am I in the Christmas parade?
Right.
And that happened to me when I started at the Village. There was a very unfortunate photo of me at my desk, because I had a public profile, unfortunately, and I signed up for Winter Wonderland. And I knew that was Christmas, and I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And I didn't realize that it's like you can sign up for, like, I want to work in the party, I want to be a photographer. Winter Wonderland meant you were in the parade.
Sounds good job.
I was there by myself, like a 30-year-old dude. It's like, I'm volunteering, and I'm like, what is this? And I'm looking at a rack of costumes, and I go, oh no, I don't want to wear one of those. So then they're like signing costumes, everybody, and then it gets to the end, I go, oh. No, they save the tough costumes for the end. All of the volunteers ask right away for the good costume.
Yes.
And the photo, and you can share this in a second, is a reindeer costume that is a couple sizes too small. And I'm just like, they painted my face, and I was in front of Santa's sleigh as it came down the street on Thursday, because, at the Village, we celebrate, all of the holidays weekly, because we don't know, what the child's been going through. Did they miss, a couple Christmases, or the unfortunate reality, they might not make it to Christmas. So, on Thursdays, it's always Christmas. We do Halloween once a week. The kids get to go trick-or-treating on Mondays, and Mayor Clayton's birthday party, where the kids get to surprise our 6-foot bunny rabbit, who's our mascot character there. It is a week-long celebration where every single day there's always a party for the kids to be coming to, and it's surprising. You think, well, they get really cool access to the fireworks or the nighttime parades. They all come back for the parties.
They want to come back for that.
If you haven't had the chance, go back and watch that whole episode. I think, like, just Steven's story about he would, in the nights when he'd finish work, would just go and volunteer there.
Yes.
And he fell in love with it so much that he's like, I've got to make this a career choice and a career change. And I think it is so special that you can give back, right? You can give back financially, but you can also make that part of your vacation. And I know one of the things, like Steven had said, one of his first times volunteering, he was part of the Christmas parade, because they do a holiday every day of the week there. And I know we had mentioned, like, we need to do that. So we will make the commitment now that we will be part of the Christmas Workers Parade, and we will highlight that in our holiday episode this year. So stay tuned. We'll see what costumes we can snag for
Definitely.
that.
I'm sure mine will be subtle.
You just blend right in.
Yeah, you guys are going to purposely pick out the most ridiculous one for me.
No, that's not true. You have to trust us.
So yeah, tune in for that. And we always do a give back episode every year where every sort of participation, whether that's a like, a thumbs up, a comment, we give $1 back to Give Kids the World. So let's blow it out this year. We'll show up in the parade and have that part of the episode. But it's just really cool to work with this amazing organization, and so special that we have that here. And it's something that just is just an amazing opportunity for these kids. So we're so thrilled that we had that chance to hear all the ins and outs. And if you haven't heard about it, again, go back and watch that full episode. It is one of our top favorites. And that kind of brings us to another favorite. I think one of the things, and they don't get as much views as we kind of expect them to, but some of the times where we go back and we do like these historical episodes, they're just so special because, again, whether it is Debbie Dane Brown, right, from the 50th anniversary, or we did the Club 33 episode where we go into like the whole history, or even we talk Jason Zucker a little bit later, but just those little nuggets. And that's kind of one of the reasons when we look at like why we created this show, one of the reasons was to showcase, things going on with Disney, right? Disney and travel and vacations and Disney Vacation Club. But one of the things that we had always said from the beginning is we want to bring in like the storytelling, the history and cast member experience. And I think this episode 17, like does a perfect example of that.
Absolutely, because we all love Disney for maybe the attractions or the characters, the shows, kind of the essence of when you see a commercial, right? That you want that moment. But then there's that rich history of the storytelling, the why behind certain things, and then Walt Disney, which we're all just more traditionalist as when it comes to Disney. We all love the Trons and the new attractions and whatnot, but give us like a good old fashioned Keys to the Kingdom tour at Magic Kingdom and we will cry. And so coming back to Club 33, I think is such a great episode because it really gets back to some of the beginnings of Disneyland, Walt Disney, and really what he wanted to create as far as having this special place for people to go and mix and mingle in a place for him to host dignitaries. So I'll say no more.
Because we're going to take a look at it.
Yes.
To episode 17, which is Kerri exposing what? Behind the curtain, I think we called it. That episode?
Explaining, pulling it back.
Let's go to Club 33.
I haven't like sat and heard the history, right? Like, why did it start?
Right.
What's the name?
Where did
the
the
history
name
of the
come from?
name? Yes. And how did it develop from Disneyland? How did they think about Disney World? I don't know if you have all these answers, but I'm going to put you on the test.
And you probably have a bunch of people too. I mean, we know they're all Disney fans, but some people might honestly be like, what do they keep talking about? Club 33. Like, what is it?
It's true. What is it? Because if you don't know, you will pass it without even noticing it at some of the theme parks. But what's so great is that you don't need to pull the curtain back all the way to understand some of the secrets, because they are out there. But we want to be true to the experience of our members and of the members too, to say some things are just truly Club 33 specific. But I will share with you, like you said, Marissa, kind of where did it come from? Where did this idea come from? So it came from Walt Disney, and really his team, to say Walt wanted a place where he could entertain executives, heads of state, celebrities, and not in a theme park environment where they're going to go to the Blue Bayou, say, and sit at a table where other guests are going to come over and potentially bother everybody. Not that Walt didn't love that. He did. He was definitely with the people, but he wanted to be able to entertain in a private way.
I have to jump in really quick. So I was eating at the Blue Bayou one day. Okay. Speaking of celebrities at the Blue Bayou, and Paris Hilton's sitting right next to me. And she gets the drink, the kids drink with the light up little globe thing. She gets the drink with Tinkerbell, and she's like, Tinkerbell, like my dog. Sorry, I had to jump in with the funny moment of Blue Bayou and
Walt Disney, Paris Hilton.
She wasn't in Club 33. I saw her at Blue Bayou.
Interesting, she wasn't at Club 33. Yeah, you really do have to be a member to get into Club 33, or know a member in Disneyland. But yes, so he wanted a place that he could host, dignitaries basically and celebrities. And back then in the 60s, they wanted to have this cigar room and their whiskey room, and retire to the library while the ladies sip tea. And I mean, that's literally what it was what it was built for with many different rooms. You're laughing, but it's true.
No, I just like your affect.
Yes, it's very la-di-da, very formal. You know, the ladies sip tea. I don't know where that's coming from, but that's just what it was. And so they wanted this environment, right? And Club 33, the name goes back. This was from Dave Smith. So anybody who writes in and says, that's not true, I'm going off of Dave Smith. I think there's a million myths out there. It was 33 was Walt's favorite number. It was, you know, whatever it might be.
But if it's coming from Dave Smith,
it's coming
that's
from
literally
that's Disney historian.
The Mac Daddy.
Yes, may he rest peacefully. Because he wrote the Disney Encyclopedia.
Right.
And I've had many conversations with Dave Smith. But anyway, so when you think about New Orleans Square in Disneyland, you think about New Orleans, the numbers of the buildings are written in big numbers on all of the buildings, 12, 11, whatever. And so 33 was there. And Walt needed a liquor license because that was going to be the only place at Disneyland where he was going to serve alcohol. And he didn't want to register Disneyland to have a liquor license because that was not the purpose of Disneyland, right? There was going to be no alcohol served. So they needed an address. And there was this little storage area above New Orleans Square where Lillian would really house all of her antiques when they shopped. They used to love to travel and shop a lot. Well, she was known to buy a lot of antiques, and they had a little tiny apartment in Disneyland that was right above the fire station, and the lamp is still on. They leave the light on every night for Walt Disney. And that apartment is probably the size of this room, which is not that big. And they had a little tiny kitchenette where he would make his grilled cheese sandwiches, and she would have her Parisian rug, and she'd have her Morocco, sideboard table and this and that. Well, she would just keep buying all these things, and he would say you can't put them in the apartment, so she would store them secretly throughout Disneyland. And she stored
hoarding before hoarding was popular.
Yes, Lillian Disney was a hoarder before it was on whatever AMC, whatever TLC, whatever it's on. And so anyway, so people used to say, like, oh, put that in 33. That's up in 33 because that was Lillian's place. And so that they determined that was a great space for this lounge, this club to be, and they registered it as Club 33 so that they could have a liquor license up there and be able to serve any type, not just wine, but wine, alcohol, whatever they needed. And that's where the name came from.
I loved that story. I had never heard that story before. So again, for me, I was sitting just like, oh, this is so awesome.
Oh, how fun.
And I had just come like fresh off of my time at Disneyland Club 33.
Right. Yes.
So it was really cool to have that. I should have had that before so I could have heard the whole history and told everybody and impressed them. Actually, between that time, I had the chance to go to the Magic Kingdom Club 33.
Yes.
And that was really,
Captain's
really cool
quarters.
too. I have no pictures, obviously.
No. We'll be in big trouble if we
Nothing
post
to
any
show
pictures.
for that.
Yes, but it is such a great experience. And you got to see the difference between Club 33 and Disneyland, where it all started, and the Club 33 here at Walt Disney World, which is a little bit different, but still incredibly special.
Yes.
I want to keep this train running, if you will, if you know what I mean, to catch what I'm saying.
Ooh,
and
that
let's
was a
talk about
pun.
Run Disney and the episode with Drew, our COO, our coup. And that was a really fun episode because Drew is really part of the origination of World of DVC and just everything that we're doing here. I mean, Drew was part of an entrepreneurial family when he was growing up. And so to see him now step into this position and come here and be on our show, and he's such a Disney fan, as is his wife, and they run the marathons together.
Yep.
And so he came and he showed off all of his hardware to us and really gave us some backstory about where DVC Rental Store had started and where him and his dad had started, kind of building this company and how it merged together. And so it's a great episode as well.
And so our first year, we had Nick on as our CEO, as a special guest, and he talked about the history of DVC Resale Market. And then Drew kind of brought it full circle with talking about Rental Store and Monera. And what's cool is Drew has kind of grown up as a DVC kid, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And so like he grew up as that. It's like part of his family vacation and history. So he has a very different view than a lot of people who didn't maybe grow up with that. But what else was so cool that I love that he talked about was just kind of that side hustle of Disney. And I think we've all experienced that a little bit, whether we talk about like switching over to the resale market like Derek and I did, or Kerri, you kicking off Ear for Each Other. Just having those things, that passion that you get from working kind of Disney adjacent. And so what's been so special this year is even our partnerships, right? And so we've had some opportunity to partner with some amazing Disney businesses, some affiliates. We actually launched an affiliate program where people can sign up and actually make commission from like referrals to Rental Store or Unlock Magic. So if you're curious about that at all, reach out to us, info@worldofdvc.com. But I think it just showcases that love for Disney and that like, hey, you can take that passion and you can turn it into a side hustle. and it can grow into this incredible organization, which is kind of like that classic like Walt, right? Like he just wanted a place to bring his kids that was fun, and that's kind of like what they did with these two businesses. So let's let Drew kind of explain that history a little bit.
Why not tell all the lovely folks at home a little bit about yourself, how you wound up here at the World of DVC, and most importantly, how you wound up here on our show.
So I grew up always loving Disney. My family's been big Disney fans ever since I was little. My dad bought into DVC when I was pretty young. So growing up, I'd gone to the beach club year after year after year.
Nice.
And that's where we always loved staying at. But then as we continued in DVC and continued doing things, my dad and my cousin ended up founding rental store and Monera, just literally from loving DVC and loving Disney. So that's where it all kind of started at.
For them, when they started that, was it like a side hustle or was it a full-time
completely
business?
a side hustle.
Okay.
They were like, oh, we'll do this. It started with a DVC rental store. And I was like, well, this will just be big enough to, become a hobby and pay for our Disney trips every year.
Yep.
And they're both just entrepreneurs to the extreme. So they kept it going and they kept doing things and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And they're like, oh gosh, this is
side
not
hustle
a hobby
pioneers.
anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's so cool because it takes me back to that show that we did with the Lost Bros.
Yes.
To where you talk about finding your passion, finding your love for something. And your parents are like, God, you know what? We love Disney. What can we do out there?
Yeah.
And look at
and they're both extreme entrepreneurs. So they just came up with it all and actually founded DVC rental store with another partner out in North Carolina at the time. So I grew up in it, have been around it. It had always been, my dream to come back and do stuff with the family companies. And so I graduated college. I was a CPA for about a year.
Where'd you go to college?
Hillsdale, up in Michigan. So not too far away. My dad got busier and busier, so he wanted me to become a CPA and do all that because it's a really important part of the business. It's just the accounting, the finance, all that side. And so I went and did that. Hated public accounting. It was terrible. Not for me. But luckily, by the time I was kind of getting tired of public accounting, my dad and my cousin were ready to bring me on full time. So then I kind of moved over in 2016 and have been there.
I was just going to ask that. 2016. Wow.
So have been there ever since then.
How many people were there when you came on?
Monera only had 3 people. Wow. The rental store had maybe 10 to 12 total. Okay. At that time, we had some independent contractors, but it was still, not that many people.
Right.
So the whole company was really 20 to 30 people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, really small at the time. So in 6.5 years, we've grown a lot.
I was just going to say, and put that in context, how many folks now work at the World
62.
of
Yeah.
Yeah. 62 and growing. And we have another hire that starts this month, another one that's going to start next month. So it's
When you started too, could you kind of see that it would grow so big, or could you even imagine sort of where we are today and where you are today?
I mean, I saw the potential for it, but with DVC and how it's kind of run and operated on that secondary market, it's always been a little bit segmented where one person has the title company, one person has the finance, one person has this. So you didn't really ever connect the wheel that we like to call it. And so then now when the World of DVC came together, the wheel just connected all the way around. And so then you could see it. I didn't see it as getting as big as it did in such a quick amount of time. Like I thought it would be big eventually, but we kind of look at that steady growth and we kind of just hit that exponential growth that we hit once the World DVC was formed, because you did have everything in that wheel that you could build off of. So it's been amazing to watch it kind of transform and even my role itself transform as we've grown and gotten bigger.
Yeah, it's so funny. That episode was so popular, and it was great because we got to hear from so many folks in the audience and so many clients of ours and members that have become friends over all these years that I didn't even know were Disney runners. And they would tell me and say, Derek, I loved that last episode. It was fantastic because my wife and I run all the time or we do all the races, and I just felt so lazy when all these people reach out. So, Brian, I'm talking to you. Yes. Brian from Indianapolis, a great, great friend, and hopefully we will be able to meet. And that's where I'm just going to throw this in real quick is it goes to this community. And I think when Marissa asked us and said, hey, start thinking about your favorite, shows of the year or anything else. For me, and I think all of us, it's the community, that it's not just one specific show, but it's the community. It's you guys. For us being able to have you guys reach out to respond online, you guys truly feel like family, you know, and in many cases, it's so incredible to be in the parks or on vacation and someone comes up and taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, where's Marissa and Kerri?
You're taller than I thought you were.
I get that one a lot. But that to me is the part that it doesn't come down to just one show. It's the fact of all you guys and just the incredible community that you guys have. And
go ahead, Jared.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I always like to say with Run Disney, don't be intimidated either, because you can be a power walker and still do Run Disney.
That's true. Too. And Paul and Amy started to, right? So our own.
They were inspired.
Amy and Paul, they're inspired. So now they're doing races, and they even have like a little part on Unlock Magic for folks that are running.
If you're part of Unlock Magic, join the community there. They have a whole conversation tab set up for like people who are either like avid Run Disney or if you're looking for tips to get started. Yeah. So again, that's kind of that great space, especially like if someone like me who would go to do that, I would have no idea. Right. And I'd need those tips on like, what do I need to do?
That's why I don't go there, because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, it can definitely feel intimidating. But what's so nice with the running community is that there's literally everybody's a winner. Everybody will get a medal. And it doesn't matter, you could be picked up in a van, but just walk. That's my point. Like, you could be a power walker too. It's a phenomenal community.
Yeah. And then speaking of Amy, the great Amy Krieger.
Let's segue into
right
her.
Yes. None of these segues are planned.
None
of them are planned. But we had Amy on episode number 19 where we talked about probably another big question that we get all the time is, I love Disney Vacation Club. I definitely want to buy it, but how do I pay for it? Yeah. Do you guys have, any financing options that, we could work with, or how does that financing process work? So we get that question a lot, thanks to our amazing finance partner at Monera Financial, monerafinancial.com. But when we had Amy on, we not only talked about how do I pay for a Disney Vacation Club member, so how do I finance it? We want to get to the nitty gritty. We want to get to the magic.
Most important story.
Forget about all that financing stuff. Amy, tell us about your favorite Disney memory, and her memory was just incredible.
It's awesome.
So let's take a listen.
So in that 10-night stay, right? Because I feel like that's like the time where it was like, okay, now we're like Disney people. Was there a moment that you would say is like the most magical moment of that trip, or like a memory that sticks out the most?
Oh my goodness. That was such a great trip, and we did so many things. One of the things that we fell in love with on that trip was Hoopty-Doo. Which is one of Paul's absolute favorites. Yeah. And he has taken me back to that show. I think we've gone like 4 or 5 times. Yeah, since then. And we took our moms when we took them. So that's one of the memories that sticks out.
Nice.
Seeing the fireworks, actually knowing what we're doing, the rides and the fast passes, and being able to like just do all sorts of really fun things together. It was just a really great trip.
I think we asked Paul a similar question when we had Paul on the show back in, it's been a long year. A while ago.
I can't tell you that date.
Maybe a year ago, actually, maybe last fall. And I remember we asked the same question about what was the magical moment? What was that moment? And he said, seeing it through your eyes. I know. Yeah. That's what he said, though. He said, when you can see it so much of your own and you come back time and time, he said, but then to introduce somebody and watch them fall in love with Disney is just like a whole experience of itself. So that's so nice, because then you guys you grow together and you make your own memories there too.
So what I loved about Amy's Disney history is Amy is an adult that fell in love with Disney.
Yes.
And you don't hear of that often.
Right.
So it was really cool to say, like, as an adult going to Disney for the first time and then being like, not sure. And then it was going back again and seeing that magic, like doing it properly, seeing that magic. She said, like, the biggest takeaway for her was seeing magic through her family's eyes.
Yeah.
Yes. And what was so cool, and Kerri, you brought it up to Amy, is that Paul had kind of said the same thing, but he had said seeing the magic through Amy's eyes.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the cool things, whether you're a parent and you go with your kids, or you're a grandparent, or you're an adult going for the first time. I remember when we took my family from South Africa to Disneyland for the first time. I think I've told this story on here, but we were supposed to go to Disneyland and then Vegas. And they were like, can we just skip Disneyland and go straight to Vegas? And I was like, believe me, it's worth it. And we had 2 days at Disneyland. And by the time the second day rolled over, they were like, is there any way we can do one more day here?
Can we skip Vegas?
But it was, I mean, they were adults, right? But seeing that magic, I think those are those memories that last a lifetime when you look back on those moments.
I love when people say, well, Disney's just for kids. I'm like, try it.
It's not.
Yeah.
Try it.
Right.
Because the adult version of Disney is amazing, right? It truly is. And you can feel like a kid if you want to.
Yes.
And who wants that, doesn't want that?
We talk to thousands of folks a year. Folk, we're not talking to 6-year-olds. We're talking to moms and dads and grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles that love Disney for all those awesome reasons.
We
that
get
you
to see
just
Drew
talked
like through the decades. Drew come as if you go back and watch that show, he's a Disney kid. He grew up as a Disney kid, DVC kid, and Amy didn't. And so Amy was like, I just don't know that I'm going to even really like it, even to go back. And now Amy's the first one commenting or telling you about the new restaurant because she's just fallen so much in love with it.
It doesn't matter when the pixie dust gets you.
It'll get you. Oh, it'll get you. Yes, definitely.
So that brings us to our holiday episode, which is filled with pixie dust. Our holiday episodes are some of my favorite. I think it's just because we go in with no agenda and we're like, let's just celebrate.
Do we ever have an agenda?
Did you see my program
well,
for today?
We have an agenda, Marissa, but both days.
I like her. She's like, it's the one show that we really don't quite know what we're going to be doing. Kerri and I are kicking each other to the table. What?
I might not clue you in on the rest, but hey, the holiday. But I just think it's such a free episode where we just go, let's just talk about fun things. One of the things we did in this episode, while not everything may have come to fruition, we did talk about, it's early on, we talked about our 2023 memories and what we're looking forward to most. So let's go back in time and say, what were we looking forward to most in the year 2023?
And I think we did talk about, what are we most looking forward to?
Our last holiday episode.
Last holiday episode. Right, was what were we looking forward to?
It was actually our first episode ever because we did our first episode kind of right in the height of, COVID pandemic. Yeah. And so much was closed at Disney. Right. And so we talked about what we're looking forward to reopening. And then we brought that back during our last holiday episode. Yes. And now that we've hit that point, now we just want to know, what are we looking forward to?
Yeah, what are we looking forward to?
Now it's all mostly back.
Mm-hmm. Yes. It's a book.
I know what I'm looking forward to.
Well, tell everybody.
So I'm looking forward to a trip to Hilton Head in February. So I booked with my points for the very first time. I haven't used any of my points yet. They sit in this little account and they're dying to be used. So I booked a 2-bedroom for my family and I as a surprise to my parents. So they can't watch this until after Christmas. But that's going to be part of their Christmas present is we're going to go to Hilton Head for 3 nights.
You'll love it.
In February. So I can't wait. I've been there. They've been there because my dad used to golf a lot, but they've never been to Savannah and Charleston and they've never been to Disney's Hilton Head. So I'm super looking forward to that trip and to be using my points for the very first time.
You're going to love it.
Yeah.
And when the Adonitis strikes, Kerri, you know how to get a hold of me.
I know where to find you.
I can help you with a Hilton Head contract.
I'm just going to go back to our original agent.
Oh, that's right. You're the one that sold it.
She did a good job. I might share the wealth, though.
Thanks. So
what
for
are you
me,
looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to and dreading all at the same time is because my oldest son is a senior in high school. So
I know.
I think just looking forward to being able to spend as much time as we can with him while we await his college decisions. He just got into Florida State, so we're super excited about
congratulations.
that. We're waiting on UF, so we'll know that probably by the time the next show airs, whatnot. But he's, going to be 18 the day after Christmas. So right now, that's why Vero was so important to us and so magical because it just kind of makes you as a family say your big decisions are where are we eating? Are we going to the beach or the pool? Yeah. The electronics get put away and you play things like shuffleboard and you play things like, mini golf at Vero Beach and all that. So I think with us just trying to spend as much time as possible, whether it's in the parks or whether it's at a hotel, and now I'm going to get all teary-eyed.
I know.
But we are going to go to Saratoga Springs today because as part of his 18th birthday present, we got him a grand villa at Saratoga for him and his 8-9 friends that are all rowers. So we're going to have them go in there, order them 34 pizzas and let them have a great time.
How awesome is
Grand
that?
Villa. So that's what I mean. We're just trying to build as many memories as possible. So
I think for his 21st birthday, you should get him a 20-bedroom incredible vacation home.
There you go.
That's what I think.
Because that won't be a party.
No.
Please, I'm thinking positive thoughts about tonight. It's all going to go well.
Oh, wait, listen to what I'm saying.
What about you?
Well, and I think like this goes back to just even that whole episode that we did last episode with Amy of like why join the membership, right?
Yeah.
Where like sometimes it's not even because it makes like the most economical sense, but like as we go to like this year and we like look at like what are we most looking forward to, it's random trips we're doing with our points.
It's so true.
And so for us, we're actually middle of January, we have booked out with some really close family friends where we're gonna go do a weekend back at Vero. But it's
so
just
nice.
I think with all the hustle and bustle with the holidays, which we love and it's my favorite time of year, but I think there's just so much that goes on where you need that reset moment. And so we're so looking forward to like our little family having that time to just go like, hey, let's have that peace and reset. And again, these are things we wouldn't do if we weren't DVC members.
Right,
and so I think that's what just, it brings it full circle to like the favorite things and the things we're looking to most as we go into the new year are things that involve DVC because it does really kind of take you out of like that day to day and make you pause and really enjoy that family time.
And it's not about like just rides. Like, I hope so-and-so is going to open or I hope this. It's just like you said, it's just the little moments of just being with mom.
It's with friends and family and just that kind of like that simple. And that's why I feel like Vero Beach and Hilton Head are is like just that simple, you know, kind of good old fashioned family fun. Yeah.
And I'm so excited because I got to take that trip to Vero Beach. It was so amazing. It was 2 nights. The weather could not have been any better. In room with the family for 2 nights. Amazing restaurants, fantastic beach days on both days. The sun was shining. It was just great. It just reiterated as if there was any doubt that Disney's Vero Beach is my favorite Disney vacation club resort. I just absolutely love it. So it was a fantastic trip. Again, looking back on it now, I think I kept saying, because I knew my son was going to be going to Florida State, and I kept saying, you know, as we're walking or playing football on the beach, and I was like, I wonder, will he be able to come back to Vero with me anytime soon? I'm going to soak up every minute of this trip. So it was perfect. And that's what Disney Vacation Club is all about. Because then I cheered myself up and I said, yeah, we'll be back. Because I'm a Vacation Club member.
You will.
I will pull him out of school and take him to Vero Beach.
Who needs college anyway?
Exactly,
college
right.
Anyway,
Or if he's anything like my niece, her first semester in college was last year. And during Christmas break, she's home. And she's exhausted. So he may be at Vero Beach, but he may be sleeping the entire time. Because her first year at school just like really just wrecked her in some ways. But
I remember
so
that from college, coming
just being
home
exhausted.
to my parents' house, and you would like that last week before you'd have finals, and I remember just not sleeping for like a week. And then you go home to your parents' house to visit, and you're like,
I'm exhausted, right? Your break
your
is
childhood bed, and you're like, I'm just gonna crash. And
yes,
and they just want to see you.
Exactly.
Like,
and you're like, I want nothing to do with
Tell me
anyone.
everything. Aunt so-and-so's dying to see you. I just have to sleep.
What about you? Did you get to go to Hilton Head like you had planned?
Are you going to cue your sad trombone music? Not yet. I'm not going to say no, not yet. No, we did have to postpone it. That was my thing for 2023 that I was most looking forward to. And we had it set for February because it was a Christmas present to my parents. And they were so super surprised and excited, but we had some family things that had come up personally that we weren't able to go. So I have now rescheduled mine, but I am happy to know that I was the inspiration into Marissa's trip to Hilton Head that she did take. So tell me all about your Hilton Head trip, Marissa.
Well, and I think that's like, if you don't realize, we are influential on this show because Kerri kept talking about Hilton Head, and I was like, you know, I need to go to Hilton Head. I've never been. And what was funny is I said one of the things I was looking forward to, we had a Vero Beach trip planned, which was wonderful. We did go, but it was 40 degrees and under our whole time there, which is like a crazy fluke. And
that is a fluke for this time of the year too. It's a little warmer usually.
Well, we went in January, and so to Vero.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll pay attention.
We went to Vero in January, and it was like the weather was 29 to 42.
Cold.
So we didn't know, but they close everything, like the mini golf, the pool deck, the beach access when it's 40 or under. So we explored the town quite a bit, but I think we needed like this, we need that vacation still. And so you had kept talking about Hilton Head, and I was like, let me just check for spring break if Hilton Head's available. And sure enough,
lo and behold,
it was. And so we booked that. We did 2 nights in Savannah on the way there, which was wonderful. We had a great time. We stayed right on the river, and then we did 2 days in Hilton Head. And I have a clip, so I'll show that clip. I think I said fantastic like 10 times.
But
it's fantastic.
But it is.
But it was really like, it was so peaceful and relaxing, and it was just what we needed. It wasn't crazy. Like the beach was still a little cold, but we're in Florida, right? So we didn't need a full beach vacation, but I'll give you a little highlight on our experience there.
Hi guys, so we made it to Hilton Head, Disney's Hilton Head Resort, and it has been a fantastic vacation so far. So we drove from Orlando. We actually stopped in Savannah on the way. So the drive from Orlando to Savannah was about 4.5 hours, and then it was another hour over here to Hilton Head. I think going back home, it's only going to be about 5 hours on the way home, which isn't bad when you break it up. But this resort has just been fantastic. I don't know if you can tell, but it's actually kind of drizzly and raining in the background. But still, there's so much to do. Pluto's around here. We even got told Chip and Dale are somewhere hiding around here. We haven't found them yet. The pool is amazing. The hot tub is huge. But really what I have loved the most is just the slow down. I think so often when we come to Disney, things are like crazy and go, go, go. And this resort, just you get in and you just kind of want to like mellow out. Now, I will say the rooms probably need a little bit of a refresh and an upgrade, but you don't mind it just because it has this really cool like cabin feel. So you really do feel like you're like on a cabin somewhere here in South Carolina. This is our back patio here. There's 2 great rocking chairs. There's a kid's little back table here. And I have spent so much time just either in the evenings with a glass of wine or here with a cup of coffee in the morning, just enjoying it all and just taking that time to just relax, enjoy the area. We rented bikes and there are so many bike paths. You can pretty much get to anywhere around the island with a bike, which I love. My son has recently learned how to ride a bike, so it's been so much fun for us to do that. You can walk the amazing trails right over, and then the beach house is also awesome. So the beach, it actually reminds me a lot of Vero Beach, but then you have a beach little like house there where you have a little like rec room entertainment area and then your own pool right there. The gym so far is fantastic. So everything we have loved. I will tell you, one of the things that I have enjoyed most about this resort, probably compared to any other Disney resort, is you can leave the Disney space, and as much as I love Disney and staying in that bubble, it's really nice to do like a Disney style like quality vacation, but then have access to different shops and different restaurants that aren't necessarily on Disney property. I think sometimes when you stay on Disney so much, you've seen the Mickey waffle a few times, so it's nice to change it up. So really right around the corner, there's an amazing French bakery, and we have spent every morning there. I'm probably going to gain 100 pounds on this vacation just because the chocolate croissants, the almond croissants, the tarts. My son had a raspberry macaron. Amazing, fantastic. And then we actually ate on the waterfront last night. Soft shell crab is in season right now, so we had amazing soft shell crab, lobster nachos. Tonight we're gonna head out and do like a southern meal. So far it's just been nice to, 1, stay in kind of this Disney feel and ambiance, but 2, be able to head out and actually really see the town itself, try the local food, ride bikes everywhere. So we have loved it, and as you can see, it's just so calm and serene. So it really has been like such a relaxing vacation. So both my husband and son said for sure we're coming back here next year. So I need to figure out the point situation for that. We are staying in a 2-bedroom. So the 3 of us in a 2-bedroom, but my son's very excited to have his own room. And again, the room may need a little bit of updating, but it's really not bad just because again, it has kind of that really cool cabin feel to it.
Oh my God.
That was fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
I loved it though. And for those folks that haven't been to either Vero or Hilton Head, what I can stress, and again, we can do a show and we probably will do shows on them, but one of the best parts about it, like you said, is that's what I love about it so much, is it's family time. There's no
distractions.
There's no distractions, but there's also not that feeling, right? Because you know when you're at Disney World, you're like, my God, I'm at Disney World. There's 4 parks to go to. What do I have to do? I've got my, magic genie thingy or whatever it is going off. And I've got dining over here and dining over there. When you go to Vero and when you go to Hilton Head, it literally is just built on spending time as a family. You don't have that pressure to like try to cram in 1,000 parks. So that's what I love those resorts so much.
The legendary service of Disney.
Yes.
So you still feel like you're part of Disney because of the details and the cast members.
And sometimes even service is even a little better because
Yes.
they're moved and they're trying so hard to uphold this incredible standard that they're like, we are going to make you remember to
Absolutely.
come back.
100%.
And they go through, the Hilton Head cast and the Vero Beach cast go through the same tradition training that every cast member at Walt Disney World goes through, or every Disney cast member goes through. So that is like ingrained in them. And to Marissa's point, like it's almost a little bit better because they just want to make it so special that you want to come back. And
because they know there's not 4 theme parks here. So what can I do to make them feel it? And I'm telling you, once you do it once, I don't think over 20 years of being able to talk to folks that have ever had a family go to Vero or go to Hilton Head that didn't say, oh my God, we cannot wait to go back. In fact, I've had several families lately that went to Hilton Head, right? Over the last maybe 6 months, and they came back and they bought a contract at Hilton Head because they said, we want to be able to go in the summer because we realize how hard it is to get in there. So Christy, I'm talking to you.
Hi, Christy.
Congrats. But yeah, that's what makes it great. So that's
what was funny too is even when we rented bikes, the guy who was helping us rent bikes, as soon as we got him, he's like, do you know the best restaurants here? And we were like, we've done some. He's like, here's the list. Here's the map. Here's what you do. Here's some awesome things. Yeah. He took 20 minutes to give us a full, basically breakdown and a guided day in Hilton Head. And then on top of that, they're just so excited to be able to show you the little history and nuggets of that. But I think another thing to your point is it's a must do for as a Disney fan in general, Disney Vacation Club member or not.
Right.
And honestly, the points are so low. At Hilton Head and Vero, you could go during a slower time and it's 10 points a night for a studio. So if you are already using your points consistently for Disney World, just rent your points. Just rent points for that trip. You know what I mean? $19 a point, so you can get a room for less than $200.
Exactly.
No brainer. Just add that on as an extra little getaway.
Yeah. And you stay at Hilton Head, but then Marissa, like you said, you stop at Savannah. Yeah. You can go up to Charleston. So you can kind of keep that as your hub if you do that for a week and do everything Hilton Head has to offer. The beach is right across the street, but then you can also venture out if you've never seen that part of the country too.
Yeah.
You guys are killing me.
I know. I want to go to Hilton Head so bad.
You guys are killing me because my wife reminded me last night that we don't have any more points. We're done until
I know someone
October.
who can help.
I was just going to say that,
And I'm we're help me, please. I need some points.
Did you know right now is a great time to buy?
$19. Yeah, or $19 for points at DVCRentalStore.com. Yeah, add-on-itis.
I went, and it goes back to this great community, which goes into, what we were just talking about was last week, I was able to go and meet up with a great member, Jeff, from one of our many, many groups, DVC Fan and DVC Clubhouse. And so I was able to meet, because again, that's one of the best parts about it is this community. And I met up with him at the Poly. And so we had a drink at the Poly, and I'm looking around the Poly, and I'm looking around and I'm seeing all these families on vacation, right? It's beautiful. We sat on the beach and talked to hearing this Hawaiian music, and I'm like, my God, I want to stay here. I don't want to drive 20 minutes back home, and I love my house, but I was in that vacation mode because it's been so long since I went there without having a room. And I was like, I just love that resort so much. So, Anyway, so that goes along the lines of another great thing that's happened is our ever-growing community. Because, again, if you think about what we've done as a company, starting with when Marissa first told me and said, so we're going to be able to swap out points for cruises and Adventures by Disney and Universal. I was like, are you crazy? I've never heard of that. Yeah. Then this rumbling started talking about we're going to build our own new online community that's called Unlocked Magic. And I said, God, it sounds amazing because there's no better people to have in a community than Disney Vacation Club members and fans. And she walked me through this, and I was just so excited about it. So we were thrilled to have the great Paul,
who better
half of
Magic,
Amy, on to talk about Unlock Magic. And that was episode number 21, where Paul gives us some really great reasons to become part of the Unlocked Magic family. Let's take a look.
So in terms of Unlocked Magic, we've really built it around 3 key concepts that I think, we really want to hit on in this show. And the first is going to be, the tools that we've already started to mention. But the coolest tool that we've actually built behind this platform is our dining availability finder. And this tool is going to be able to find you that perfect dining reservation that you've been looking for. Maybe at the 60-day window, it's not available. You go on there at 7 a.m. or whatever time, it is that you're booking that dining reservation. It's no longer available. You think the trip is ruined. I'm never going to get that perfect that perfect dinner at, I know you really want to go to Cinderella's Royal Table, Derek. I mean,
That's all right.
I mean, but actually inside Unlocked Magic, we have built a dining reservation finder. So you're going to be able to put in that specific date or whenever you're looking to go for that reservation, put in those times that you want that reservation finder to search for, and that's going to look for that reservation for you and then send you an email and a text alert once it actually is found. Because people do drop reservations all the time, each day and every day. Plans change. And so when that reservation is found and is available, it's going to send you that text and email. And not only are you going to get that, but you're going to get a link in there that's going to take you straight to the booking page so that you can book that reservation.
Nice.
And, we've been playing around with it for a while now, and we're finding all kinds of like cool things pop up.
Yeah.
Actually, just last night, Amy was in the other room, sends me a text message. She goes, well, the dining tool is working really well. Do you want to go to Victoria and Albert's next Wednesday? Oh. I'm like, yes, but I don't want to pay for it. Does the dining tool do that?
Is there a marketing write-off for that?
But, we had some people test it internally over the holidays. Right. I know, Marissa, you had a great experience with California Grill.
And I think to your point, the tool is so well done. And I know there are other dining tools out there, right? And so I think what makes this one so special is, one, it's unlimited. Yep. So I went through and I was like, here's my favorites. What can I get? And it was 24 hours in advance of when we were going on a Friday night, Christmas Eve.
Right.
Not really the best time to start looking for, me, last minute. And so it was unlimited, so I put in as many as I wanted. And the text alert is fantastic because I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, now with the new cancellation policy with Disney Dining, you can cancel 2 hours ahead of time versus 24 hours. And that has opened up some availability. But to be quite honest, I am not going to sit in my phone and refresh the My Disney Experience app every 30 minutes to be like, who canceled on this day 2 hours in advance of their stay? It's too much. But if I go, hey, this app has very good success, I'm going to put in my top 10, top 20. Why not? It's unlimited. Yeah. And then you're going to get that text and you're good to go. So I think it just makes that planning effort so much easier, and it's such a seamless tool, which I love.
Yeah, and the things that really make it stand out from the other tools on the market, like you said, are the unlimited nature. So we're not going to limit you to the number of requests. You want to make 200 requests in there, go at it. And then the text feature. A lot of other companies, do charge for that text feature, but we're including that in your Unlocked Magic subscription price. So, I think those are some amazing benefits that you get with this tool that's going to take it even further.
So it can be, just so I'm putting myself in the mind of people listening, so when I get that notification, it's not just a notification that then I have to leave the site, then I have to log on to Disney Dining and hope that it's still there, right? So you literally can click right there from your notification and takes you right there to be able to go ahead and confirm it. That's
Correct.
nice.
Yeah.
That's fast.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and that's something else that we've not really seen, within the industry is that ability to go to that reservation. Now, it is possible that, if you check your text messages an hour late, that reservation may not be available still. But, if you click on it and it is available, it's going to pop up, allow you to book that reservation, log into your MD account, and it's going to be seamless.
And I think that's the beauty of the text, because a lot of companies will do an email and then you pay for the text. But I think the text is so nice because, most of us check our emails pretty decently, but you're going to check a text right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So going into kind of that dining finder, right, that Paul was talking about, that was the big inspiration to kind of say, what's the best tool we can find to plug into this community? And for us, with our shows that we do inside Unlock Magic, we use that dining tool to book. We kind of do a roulette of whatever shows up, we are going to book that. And so that is done there. And then one of the cool things as we look into the Narcoossee's reopening, right? And you look into California Grill having a whole new menu coming out, and Woody's Barbecue. All of these very hard to get, where you don't want to sit on the My Disney Experience app all day and try to get a reservation there. The Unlock Magic Dining Finder is the best tool for that. And I think that's really cool, but I think one of the coolest things there has been just the amazing plugins with different discounts and community. So Paul goes into just a little bit about that inspiration as well.
Step 2 is going to be some amazing discounts that we have. And the biggest one of those is going to be for your Disney tickets, which we know that there are so many people still in this sphere right now that either can't get an annual pass, don't need an annual pass. Maybe they're just going once once a year or something like that. So we really wanted to be able to provide the best ticket discount that there is out there for Walt Disney World tickets. And we think we've done that in Unlocked Magic as well. And you're going to have full access to that. And I think one of the coolest comparisons is, people watching the show are probably like, but I'm paying for Unlocked Magic, so how is it a discount? So we sort of have some comparisons that are out on the website and stuff like that. And the cool thing is, within the discounted tickets, you're going to be able to actually do your own comparisons direct to Disney and see how big that discount is. But like on a family of 4, I think we sort of equated that the discount is going to equal to like 2 years of your subscription.
No, I think it's now 4 years of your subscription.
4 years. Yeah. Like absolutely. Like just.
I have friends. So I had sent a friend a message and said, hey, try it out. Get the feel of it. Let me know your feedback. And he texts back and he goes, this is really legit. He's got a family of 5 and he goes, I'm going to save $500 on our tickets. They were going to go for a larger amount of time, and they can't get annual passes, and they're DVC members. And he's like, I'm going to save $500. So to your point, you can sign up for a year for $59, and you're saving $500. So I think it's still worth the $450 that you're getting out of it.
It pays for itself, and that is just one aspect of what is behind this entire thing. But the ticketing tool is definitely something from day one that we really wanted to sort of get up and running, and so that's going to be a cool thing that you see in Unlocked Magic. And we've got other discounts as well. We've got our friends at the Lost Bros are going to have a discount that's going to live back there. We have the ability to save up to $500 on a VIP tour with Disney. So like we're just adding any sort of discount that we can possibly think of to this platform to make it worthwhile and to sort of really harness that value that you're going to get for being a part of our community. So, and community, that's the third thing. Like that is the big thing, and that's what really got me motivated in the project early on, is that as you all know, I'm a part of many different DVC groups on Facebook all over the place. And the thing about, like, I don't want to fully diss Facebook, but at the end of the day, like, it's just full of a lot of fluff and things that I don't really care to see anymore. Like,
and I'm so bad with my settings. So, and I could set it up. I know there's ways, right? But like, I'll go on Facebook and I'm trying to look at like some DVC stuff or hear Disney news. And then it's like 80 different people from high school where I'm like, oh, goodness gracious. Like scrolling through. Like, I know there's filters for this, but like at the same time. And then
all your high school friends are watching going, hey.
But then you get lost in that web of I came here to hear the latest news for this. And now, like 3 hours later, I'm here.
Like I know that my time on like Facebook or any other social media is spent primarily in like 1 or 2 groups, but I have to like shuffle through all this other stuff, like high school friends, like politics, like ads. like
thumbs up to your new baby.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Why I'm going to keep scrolling. Yeah.
Why am I getting this ad for noodles?
Because you mentioned noodles.
Now I'm hungry.
And now we're all going to get an ad for noodles.
We are all. You're all going to text me later and be like, these noodles look amazing.
Is there a dining finder for the noodle restaurant? Maybe so.
We can build it. But yeah, community is that thing that sort of holds us all together. It is what, this World of DVC show is all about, building this community within the DVC sphere. We have so many other DVC or Disney-based communities. I just joined Run Disney Run, which was like a group for Run Disney people on Facebook. But I think that the common thing that holds us all together is that Disney element. And so the real cool thing about Unlocked Magic is we are taking that community space and basically dumping it into this platform. So if you want to talk with fellow Run Disney people about Run Disney, you can go do that. If you want to talk about visiting Disney World with little kids, you can jump into a community that does that. We have different spaces that basically cover every aspect of the Disney vacation process.
So I think that's been one of the coolest things with Unlock Magic is the community. And of course, like our team, anytime we think of new ideas, we're like, let's see if we can add that for our Unlock Magic community in there. And so one of the things...
It's like a crazy sandbox.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, that's a really great way to say it.
And really actually, we do have... little plug, we have like 3 more really exciting things coming to Unlock Magic over the next few months, so stay tuned for that. But one of the inspirations was from episode 22, where we came up with Unlock Animation, and that was after having Jason Zucker on our show.
Jason is so talented too, and in this episode 22, he talks about the legendary moments that he's created when somebody passes away. So like Angela Lansbury, the great Angela Lansbury, she was the voice of Mrs. Potts in Beauty and the Beast, and he did this beautiful tribute to her that he does these things so quickly and he puts them on Facebook. And whatever Jason does, of course, is going to go viral so fast. So let's take a look at episode 22 with Jason Zucker. You do a lot of legacy pieces. Kind of that moment when something happens within what I've seen, the Disney family, when Angela Lansbury passed away, you did a tribute piece to her. So you do a lot of tribute pieces too that I think people have really come to look forward to. Like there's news, Jason's looking for something on Facebook that Jason's gonna do. Where did that kind of come from, your tribute pieces?
I don't know.
I'm way to keep up, Jason. Thanks.
In my head. It's.
Do I do that? I don't even know.
I don't know what are you talking about, Kerri?
I don't know how my mind works. There's still scientists out there trying to figure this out. I don't know. And I'm sure you all have experienced, just you're driving, you're in a store, it just pops in your head, and I got to get it down. And of course, being an artist, sometimes again, sometimes you don't have the pad and the paper. Right. You're like, I got to get home. I don't want to forget this. You're like that director at a bar. You're like writing the script for like Pulp Fiction on a cocktail napkin or something like that.
Yes,
it happens sometimes, and
we do that for this show.
Yes,
too,
some of the best ideas come on a cocktail napkin. I know.
Yeah, you never know. So I think really the tributes started happening, and again, it was the people that responded.
Yeah, because they're so beautiful.
Just keeps you going, and it's amazing. But the tributes. I've done little things here and there. I was on my high school paper and college and all that, so we did little things here and there. But I think it really started with when I did the 90 Days of Mickey. And I did a couple things in there to where like there was like a Mickey 9/11 that everybody responded to, and I'm just like, it's kind of nice because people were sending it to their friends and family. There were, if it was, a special animator or somebody in our society or somebody that we all grew up with that passed away, sometimes it would just be like, I'm going to do a little something special, because, of course, now with Facebook and social media, everybody's posting, I can't believe this person passed away, and they post pictures, and all of this. But sometimes it doesn't, like Lisa Marie Presley passed away the other day, and people were going, okay, where's the drawing? I was like, well, I wasn't, nothing against the Presley family or anything like that, but nothing really popped in I wasn't even really thinking about it. But like the Angela Lansbury, of course, Beauty and the Beast, I have, a history with Disney animation and loving that movie, and there's so much to it. That popped in my head. The Splash Mountain you were talking about earlier, I loved, everybody asked me, what's my favorite attraction? Of course, a lot of my favorite attractions are no longer with us, but that was actually one of my favorites because I loved the theming. I've always loved the theming of it. And so I just did a little something with Louis the alligator.
So if you haven't caught that episode of Jason Zucker, it is just so priceless. And he draws in that one too, so he'll give you a little lesson on a classic character, Winnie the Pooh. And if you don't know the story, Jason created kind of a challenge for himself where he wanted to celebrate the 90 days of Mickey leading up to Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday. So every day for 90 days, Jason drew like Mickey, whether it was a classic Mickey or Mickey dressed as a fireman or as a superhero or whatnot. Well, he created this little story with Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse, and it's called Giving. And when I talk about this, went viral. They're so fast. In fact, there was a lady that told him, I think it was either in the comments on our show or in the comments of Unlocked Magic, but they own a little gift shop.
Well, he actually told this story.
Did he tell that story in there? Okay, thank you.
But it was actually one of our audience members, which I think that's what you're talking about. It was Kyle Murphy.
Was it Kyle?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kyle. Yes. Hi, Kyle.
Which was funny because he kept commenting that he had been in love with this work of art forever, and he'd been trying to find it. He had no idea Jason was the artist. No idea
it was Jason, right. And Jason will share that entire story on this clip.
But still to this day, in fact, just the other day, I met a guest that asked me about, like, are you on Instagram? And I was like, yeah. And he had his phone, and he put his phone in my face and go, that's you?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
And these folks were from Pittsburgh. But I've heard from people from New York, California, all these places. it really didn't hit me until I met a family from England, and I was telling them the same story, and I showed them the picture of it, and the girl's like, "Oh my God, that's being sold in our stationery store down the street." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yes, Tom, look at this. It's right here."
Such a great episode with Jason, and you can find Jason once again at Unlocked Magic via Unlocked Animation. And that brings us to episode 23. And Dani, this was a recent episode.
It was.
And one of the things I loved about this episode that kind of is a little behind the scenes for World of DVC Show is our intros and where those come from. And you're always Derek's usually the scapegoat in these of like something that either
It's
myself
honestly-
or
Derek is
always,
the butt of every joke.
Yeah, it's always
basically. Is it
unscripted.
butt or bud?
I think it's
Butt.
but
B-U-T-T.
I don't know. I think
it?
that's an ongoing debate.
Is it butt or is it butt? Let us know in the comments.
Because we don't know. But anyway,
Cornhole or bags?
you end up being the joke. But you
Correct.
have such a good sense of humor with that. And it's usually just like us coming up with something fun and silly.
Well, we always try to say, okay, if
Yeah.
we have a special guest, perfect, and we throw it in
Right,
there.
we
And
put
then
the-
it's always Kerri, because we film the intro last. So after we film this, and then we'll film the intro, and it's always Kerri literally going, "So what weird thing are you going to do in this intro?"
Kerri,
I'm like,
actually, you're kind of our director for the intros. Because I leave the room. I'm
You
like,
do tend
I'm
to leave
good.
the room. Yeah. And so I come up with something usually kind of funny, and Derek, you do it.
pretty much.
And so with this one,
I'm like a circus monkey.
you
Just toss me a peanut and
As you said.
do something
Yeah.
stupid.
Perform for us, monkey. Yeah, but you're so funny, though. And that's just it, is that I think I've done a couple intros. Marissa's done a few, but none are more fun when you're involved in doing something.
There's a lot of pressure on this intro. How was this intro? Because
This
we haven't
intro-
filmed
This
it
is one
yet.
of my favorites.
No,
for
this
this
is
show.
this is a great intro. But the other thing too is that we literally sit the guest after we've all done, and the guest normally at that point thinks, "I'm done," so pressure's off, and then we say, "Okay, sit down, memorize this." There's no script or anything, but just say welcome, and we give them the script.
Episode,
and
blah, blah, blah.
Every single guest goes, "What do I have to say?" And then we tell them, "Don't worry, it takes a bunch of times, this and that." We sit Dani down, and Dani does it in one take.
I think she's our first
I think so
ever
too.
guest to do it in one take.
One take, and this is probably one of the funniest openings. So let's take a look at Dani episode. What is this one? 23.
Hello, I am Dani, and welcome to the 23rd episode of the World of DVC Show. We have an amazing show for you today. We are talking all about cruising and traveling and a lot of different market updates as well.
Oh, hey, Dani.
Hey, Derek.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Welcome. Someone told me that you have been to, is this right, 86 different countries all over the world?
I have 86 countries. How many countries have you been to, Derek?
Let me think. Kerri, how many countries are at Epcot?
So yeah, that is the story of our intros, if you're ever wondering.
Episode 26 is just going to be intro stories.
We're just going to have all a good compilation of all intros.
Probably could.
There's some funny ones. Yeah.
What I loved about this episode with Dani is we actually had it planned to be like very cruise focused, and it kind of took a turn. And we mentioned that in the episode, but it was just more about like travel. But I think it went full circle because it went back. And why I wanted to showcase this episode a little bit is because it went back to almost like our first episode that we ever did.
Yes.
Where we talked about the power of the name tag and the power of connections. And it goes to just not just like our relationship, but we also like Dani, and then we bring in like British at Be Our Guest Vacations, and we all have these like really cool connection stories where we've overlapped or made contact or became friends. And even when we go back to like Nick's episode, right?
Yeah.
Of like how we all met Nick at different points. And so I think that's what's so cool is you never know. And even as we go into like these, like our affiliate program, right? And we get to meet different like influencers and affiliates. It as you grow in that Disney space, you never know who you're going to talk to or touch who knows somebody else who you might become like so close in working with. And I think that kind of speaks to like our relationship. But one of the cool things is we talk about not only was our mission this year with World of DVC revolutionizing the vacation industry, but it was also taking it internal and saying like, how can we grow internally to keep on making this great work for outward for our guests? And Dani had touched on like Kerri, like your position and the start of even like the marketing program and all of that. So we'll talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. To whoever, I think Marissa said earlier, like never discount that moment of like a cup of coffee together, a meeting together, a meet and greet. It's you just never know. If you would have told me sitting there in that training room I had been a long-term cast member, 17, 18 years or so, but meeting you and then Marissa and Derek and someone saying, okay, in like the next 7 to 10 years, you'll be doing a podcast together and working with them. No, that's not going to happen.
Right.
And,
in
it's
what
just
universe?
What universe is that going to happen? But it just is such the perfect fit.
And even like when I first met you, I was like, I felt like at that time you were right where you needed to be at that time.
100%.
But this role is you to a T.
I have to agree with you 100%. It really
Kerri's
is.
like, I did create it. So.
I just
You're
love it.
so good at it.
Thank you. I love it. And I think that's kind of the theme here too is we love our guests, we love our members, we love what we do, and hopefully the community that we build, people genuinely feel that.
Yeah.
That, it's not I don't know, we just feel like we put people first.
Yeah. And I think I think this show took a little bit of a different direction, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And I think really when we go back to, again, how we kind of kicked off the year, right? With like revolutionizing the vacation experience. And as we look to like grow and do new things, right? Like trade-ins for Resale Market.
Yes.
Like what can we do that hasn't been done that we make it better for like our guests?
Yeah.
But at the same time, we do that internally. And I think for us to be able to produce and make these really cool things, we can't do that unless we're growing as well. And I think even to like, Dani, your point about Kerri, like we didn't have a director of staff. Like we didn't have that built up. And it wasn't that like we didn't want to. It was just like that thought hadn't come yet. And I think that's what's so special about our team is like Kerri's like, but this is my fit. So let me jump in and do this. And then it was the green light of like, yeah, Kerri, this is your fit. Go with it, right? And same thing with me. Like we didn't have a marketing department when I started, and I just started doing it on the side. And then
we did. You did it. You just didn't have an official title.
It made sense to go like let's actually have like a full on marketing team now, so we can like showcase these things. We can do these shows. We can have these fun giveaways and all of that. And that's what's been so cool is there's no opportunity that said no to. It's just of like, it's how do we make it happen?
Yeah, it's the timing. It's how do you make it happen? Who are the right people? If it doesn't work today, maybe in a month or two or a couple of weeks, it will. It's so true. And I don't know that we're used to that kind of an environment, but because we're smaller, we can be.
And let me just tell you, your title is marketing, but it's really just a way to connect with our guests. And that's why I was so excited to be on this show because we get to talk to our members over the phone. And let me just tell you, the phone is powerful. Just because I don't see you in person, like I've gotten so close to a lot of my members already.
Sure,
and so I was just like, I just want a way to get one step closer. Like I just want to feel like we know each other really, really well. And so that's why I was so excited to be on the show because people call in all the time and they're like, I watch your show. Do you know those guys? And I'm like, I do know those guys.
So that was just so special to have Dani on. And I think as our team grows, it's just so cool to highlight just new people. And you'll see Dani a lot more. She joins us in Unlocked Magic for our Unlocked Magic episodes. But again, I just think that's been so cool as we go past this like last 2 years and look at just the growth of like this show and our community and the people joining our team. And it's just been so special. And if I go back to, again, meeting Derek for the first time, right? Where like my husband is telling me, hey, you're going to be working with this guy, Derek. I met him on the fantasy, right? And I'm like, I don't know who Derek is. And then I meet him like a week later.
Cut to how many years later?
Right?
I can't get this guy out of my life.
I have to drive him everywhere.
Now I pick him up everywhere we go. His kids babysit my kids. And like Kerri having those moments like with you and that first day of training. And Dani was there too.
Dani was there too. Yes.
It's just been such a special
like we were
ride.
Doing life together without knowing it just yet. And then now like, just to have a very vulnerable moment. I think we text each other at least once a month and say like, I'm honored to sit with you. I'm honored to do the show. And we wouldn't have this if we didn't have the amazing audience and viewers that we do. Yeah. But it is truly such a special honor to sit here and talk about things we love to talk about and help families come to Disney, whether you buy or sell or, use the dining finder, whatever it might be. But to sit amongst you two like every month. We always say we wish we could do it weekly, but how could we do that? But
we always
it's
finish
such an honor.
taping, I think, after every single episode, and we'll text each other and say, thanks, I needed that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because it truly is people that care about each other, and that's the best part about this overall company. And we've had many people from the world of DVC on the show. We're still going to have many more that you haven't even met. Some of them want to be on camera. Some of them don't want to be on camera. And that's okay. But we're all here as part of the world of DVC, which, like Kerri said, and I kind of touched on it earlier too, that I think the biggest part of the reason that we're here, if nobody watched, if nobody listened, we wouldn't be here.
We'd be talking to ourselves.
We'd be talking to ourselves and doing all that. So that's where truly from the bottom of our hearts, every single time we do a show, every single time you email, every single time you make in your comments, and it's just truly you guys are part of the family, and we would not be here if it wasn't for you.
Even those emails and comments, like especially when we're having maybe a hard day or hard week, it's like one of you will text me like this amazing comment that someone left, and you're like, this is why I do what I do, right? And it's so funny because people will ask me like, are you guys really like good friends in real life? And that's the funny thing is like, this is our moment to kind of hang out.
It kind of is.
So you're coming in and like sitting at the table and hanging out with us. So we love when you feel that and you leave those comments, because we just feel like you're part of that, sitting around the table with us here too.
My dream one day is for us to like do this live with the viewers, right? I don't know how everyone could fit in this little room, but
on our
somewhere
cruise, when we do our cruise,
or come as close as Oracle, yes,
on the Lighthouse Point show.
That would be amazing because we feed off each other so well. But then when we meet our viewers out there, that is just like an energy burst for all of us.
And we really do love that. Like that to me is one of those things where just as someone that we just sit and we talk. But again, like I said, time and time again, we wouldn't be here if nobody was watching, if nobody was listening. And then on those rare times where our paths cross and you might email us or touch base with us and say, hey, we're going to be in town, we're going to be available maybe to be able to hook up and meet. We love it. Or if you see us in the parks and you tap us on the shoulder, it's just the greatest thing in the world. So thank you for an amazing 2
year
run. I can't believe it.
Guys.
In 2 years from now, my son will be a junior at college.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, we're gonna have to have a big box of tissues right here, starting next semester.
Goodness.
So thank you guys.
Yes,
for
thank
amazing,
you so much. And as
years.
our gift to you, stay tuned to the end because we do have the world famous bloopers.
The world famous bloopers. And we have that $200 gift card as well. So don't forget about the $200 gift card.
Make sure you participate, thumbs up, comment. Let us know one of your favorite moments from joining us throughout the last 2 years. Favorite episode, favorite intro, favorite blooper, whatever that is. Put it in the comments and make sure you email us at info@worldofdvc.com. Someone will walk away with that $200 gift card. But again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
And we got to tell them.
We have a long-standing tradition.
Before we get to the bloopers, it's our long-standing tradition that we have to. So again, thank you.
Thank you.
And a special thanks to Jeff, who has to put up with us and comes every single month and edits this masterpiece and puts up with us and laughs at our corny jokes. So Jeff, thank you for all the work that you do. Thank you all again for watching. And we'll see you real soon. Happy anniversary. Oh, didn't you go to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? What's this Minchuk? Yes.
I don't know Kerri.
It's probably not the right spelling. I was literally doing it before. And I was like, Mickey, not N.
You can just call it Pooh to you now.
Sit on your knees because then you still can see you.
Wait, hold on.
No, Jeff can rig it.
I'm
basically the size of Kerri is.
You kind of are. That's very true.
I look like I'm just normal. I'm gonna go back to my chair.
No, stay there.
What's he doing then?
No, not like that.
No, but like crouch down. Like child's pose.
Like hide. You can still see me. No, here. I'll go like this,
You need no personal space, and I'm over here like, don't come any closer.
I need personal space with some people, but not you. I love all of you. Thanks, Marissa. Whatever.
I mean, we've been waiting on you.
All right, go on.
Okay, so great show.
Yeah, great show. Ready? 3, here. Ready? But we had Amy on to kind of walk through Foo.
What? Ooh, walk through.
What? Did you slip into like Swedish or something?
I don't know if I want to leave that part in the show or not. It was such a tee up to Amy's part, but yeah.
Try it again.
Take that part out. Yeah.
Come on, quick. Yeah. We had a retreat. Mickey came. It was fun. Done. Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this, whatever this is. So we're doing this, whatever that. I'll do this, you do that.
Tell me about a swap
Sometimes
show.
fun. Right.
Don't mind my face.
Okay.
But I was trying out this app for the photo thing.
I hate the word exposing.
It sounds like, wow.
It just sounds like, whoop. Right, exactly. This might
Okay.
be where we pick up ratings, though, and viewers.
When we expose.
Run
Yes.
So
this.
stay tuned, welcome, and join us for this holiday edition.
Follow me.
I think there needs to be something funny at the end.
I mean, that was funny.
Okay, all right, was that funny?
I'm not going to go like, let me do a lasso.
All right.
Was that fine then?
Okay,
Listen,
I'm ready.
when he's done singing that song, you say Happy New Year.
Okay.
Understand me?
We're ready. Who sang that song?
MC Hammer. He was a
Before my
rapper.
time.
And Marissa doesn't know who MC Hammer is.
All we do is flood her with references, and she's like, "Who's Phil Donahue?" And we're like, "Oh my God."
Steve, do you know who Phil Donahue is?
I know that, but I'm probably younger than Marissa.
She knows the Hammer Time dance.
So we hope you joined. Okay, let me start over.
Pay it off. There's
Right.
no prepayment
6 months.
penalty
Right.
for that. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. And then
You gonna be okay there?
are you all right?
That's from him trying to show off how his chair goes
I
up
only
and
got
down.
tickets because my backroom neighbor runs it.
And then he told me about it, so then I messaged his backdoor neighbor. He was like, no one's supposed to know about this.
And then my backdoor neighbor messaged me saying, "Did you tell Marissa she could get tickets from me?"
I need to know this backdoor neighbor.
I was like,
I want to know what a backdoor neighbor is.
Let's take a call.
This is our After Dark show.
We have one on the phone
Unlock
right now.
magic
Backdoor,
after
how
dark.
are you?
the word is backdoor neighbor.
No where she was going with that either.
I didn't.
Come over laying down for you.
Sometimes we share a brain. So sometimes I don't.
Oh, wait. Did you guys hear that?
I think I did.
I know a lot of you have been asking about story time with Sue.
No, don't cut it. Leave it. No,
We
leave
played
it in.
along. I know.
Leave it in.
We played along. No, I know. We'll start from I know.
No, I want the whole thing.
No, we'll leave the whole thing.
Yeah, do. Perfect.
I just couldn't
I'm like,
stop laughing with
did
you
you hear
laughing.
that? No, is that your Panera delivery?
Is there flatbread here? Did you hear that? Oh God, is Marissa hearing sounds again? I did not hear that.
I didn't see that coming out of nowhere. I was like,
There is my Panera.
Go.
My fabulous husband.
Did he dropped it?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Should we come back?
We
and
got to
flatbread now?
incorporate some of that confusion into the show, for sure. And remember, the audience loves just one word answers. Okay, perfect. No. That's
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please remove your headphones, step back into reality, have a magical day, and we'll see you real soon.